Hi and welcome to Whiskey Shared. You're watching day 12 of my mystery whiskey advent calendar. I'm Toby and you're watching Whiskey Shared. Welcome to day 12 of my mystery whiskey advent calendar for 2025. If you've seen this before and you know how it works, then you can just skip straight forward to the tasting. Otherwise, the way this works is I have over 100 samples in my sample collection and my wife has picked 24 at random. She'll put one a day into a blue Glencairn glass and I'll nose it, I'll taste it, I'll tell you if I like it, and I'll have a stab at what I think it is. This is just for fun, so sometimes I'll get it right and sometimes I'll get it wrong. Should we find out what I'm drinking? On to the whiskey. If you'd like to play along with me and find out what's in my glass when I do, then just keep watching. Otherwise, take a look in the description now for a sneak peek. Let's start with the nose. This is interesting. I'm not normally void of words, but this is... well, there's only one flavour and I don't know what it is. I think it's a type of smoke. I think there's a slightly savoury, like meaty smoke, but it's really, really light. Yeah, it reminds me of a really faint, like bacon crisps. I'm not getting anything else. Let's move on to the palate. Okay, so instantly I'm getting three things. One is lots of smoke. 2 is lots of heat, and 3 is lots of fruit. So let's break it down. The smoke is really, really powerful, really strong. I don't know why it isn't on the nose, but it's really, really sort of, it's like wood smoke, it's like bonfires. There's savouriness to it, meatiness. There is lots of heat. I think this is high ABV, probably 55 plus. It's very, very hot. It's not hot to the point that it makes my eyes water, but the heat is overwhelming the palate. And then in the background is a really sort of juicy, sweet berry fruitiness. Like it's almost like I want that flavour first. Like I want that to come to the fore. But that sweetness is, I think, like almost like a jam. It really is like overly sweet, but it's almost like it can't come through properly. Let's have another sip. Yeah, I think this is a whiskey, especially for me, that would benefit from lots of water. I think the heat and the smoke are overwhelming on the palate. And obviously a cask strength of whiskey has two functions. One, it's to deliver a natural product that's been untouched, but it's also there to give you the ability to make it to your taste. And obviously some people would like this as it comes, but for me I think it's just too dominant. I think the flavours overwhelm, and I think that sweetness that's in there I think would be a lot nicer. if it wasn't dominated by a prickly heat and a really overwhelming smoke. But let's try and break down what I think this is. I think the whiskey is probably a Scotch whisky. I think it's probably an Islay or Highland whisky. I think it is probably aged in a sherry cask, and obviously I think it's cask strength, so it's probably a well-known whisky. It's probably probably under 12 years old. I think there's some youthfulness in this, and sometimes I struggle to pick up that with peated whiskies, but I think there is an almost youthful character in the background. But let's have one final sip. Yeah, I think this has been predominantly aged in a sherry cask. There's the fruit note is definitely coming forward a lot more, although there is lots of prickly heat on my palate. There's a almost slightly viscous and almost like, I don't know, it's like this really overly sweet jam that's trying to come forwards, but my palate is being overwhelmed by the heat and the prickle. But I don't think it's overly young, but I think this is a youthful whisky, or probably carries a non-age statement because of that. I think it's sherry aged. I think it's Islay or Highland Scotch, but yeah, it could be from other parts of the world as well. But this is a really, really intense dram that needs water. Shall we find out what's in my glass? Right, so it's Hinch 3-year-old peated Madeira finish. It's 61% ABV, and it was sent to me by Scott Mathieson. So thanks, Scott. I don't know what to say about this. Obviously Hinch is Irish. 3 years old is, yeah, being hidden incredibly well by the peat and the Madeira. But I do wonder if the youthfulness is what makes this attack your palate so much. Obviously the ABV being high helps to, helps achieve that sort of feeling on the palate. But yeah, I do wonder if this was a little bit older, it would soften out ever so slightly, ABV would come down a bit, and this would be nicer at cask strength. But there's some really good flavours there, and I think obviously adding some water with this, spending some time getting the dilution right, I think this will be a real cracker of a whiskey, I suppose. It's really impressive, and I think if this is what a peated Irish at 3 years old can be, I think then they've got some good years ahead of them, because the liquid is obviously being masked by the Madeira finish. But for me, I like sweet whiskies, so that doesn't bother me at all. But it is nice if you haven't tried an ex-bourbon whiskey from a particular distillery. I think that's always a good place to start, so you can understand where the spirit comes from. But yeah, it definitely opened my eyes, and I definitely wasn't thinking Irish. And yeah, I think I'm going to spend some time with this, getting the dilution right, and trying to pick out, well, more of the fruit flavour and hopefully less of the bite. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing next. If you tried this or any others from Hinch, then let me know in the comments as always. And if not, hopefully you found that interesting, and hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow. Stauncher. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.